Hello, my name is Mitzy. I'm 20 years old and I am undocumented. And I am making this video because I want to share my story, and I know that a lot of people can relate to my situation. Well, I came here from Mexico City when I was 9 years old, and I've been living in Georgia for the past 11 years. I finished elementary, middle school, and high school here. I graduated from Florida Branch High School in 2010, and I kind of always knew I didn't have my papers, all through middle school, but I never really understood what it meant to be undocumented. I never really knew the consequences and, how much it was actually going to affect me in the future. And also during high school, I never really talked to people about my status. It was something that I wasn't comfortable with, sharing. I would always think to myself, what if they call a migra or something? I was always very afraid, and I was just always I never really wanted to tell people. Whenever they asked me, why don't you have your license yet? I would always come up with something. My license got suspended for whatever reason. I always had to come up with something, and I always had to have a story. And I felt like I always had to cover up, my life with lies, and I hated it. And, my senior year came along, and I was looking into different colleges and different scholarships. And I went to my counselor, and I told her I really want to go to Young Harris College. It has a beautiful campus. I wanted to have the American experience. I wanted to have, that college experience. And she looked at me, and she was like, well, I don't know how to help you. I told her I don't have a social, what can I do? She pretty much, printed out a list of websites, and she said, here you go. These websites have a couple of scholarships that don't require social. Fill them out. Good luck to you. And that was pretty much all the help that I received from my counselor. And I can't blame her, just because she really didn't know how to help me. She wanted to. But I guess she didn't encounter many undocumented students at my high school, just because most of them were white. Like 95% of the kids I went to school with were white. So I guess she never really, had experience dealing with undocumented students. So, I knew that I had to pay out-of-state tuition because I didn't have a social, but I really didn't know how much I had to pay until I actually looked into it, and it was definitely not an option for me. Because, we are treated as international students. Even though we've been living here most of our lives, I've been living here 11 years, like I said, but I've met other people who have been living here, 19, 20 years, who came here when they were a month old, a year old, 2 years old. These people really know no other home than the United States. And to be treated as an international student, to me, it kind of makes no sense, because, I grew up here. I consider myself an American. Just because I'm not white and I don't have blue eyes or I don't have a damn social does not make me less of an American than anybody else. To me, the definition of being American has nothing to do with the legal status or a social. And, we are trying to, pretty much change the system to where when you apply for school, you have, a little box that you can click on that says undocumented American student instead of international student, instead of out-of-state student, because we have to pay 3 times more than the regular student. Why? Just because we weren't born here, and even, we grew up here. To me, that's ridiculous. There are so many doctors, lawyers, engineers, nurses, teachers, social workers that could be in the making, and yet we are not given that option. Here in Georgia, this is just, to me, this is another way of segregation. We are completely banned from the top 5 universities in Georgia. Some of them include UGA and Georgia State. And, no, even if you have the money, if you live in Georgia and you're undocumented, you can't attend those universities. And their excuse was, well, we want every possible, empty seat to be filled by a citizen. Even though we might have the money, we might have the grades, the SAT scores, the GPAs, we might have everything that they're asking for, but we don't have that magic number, so we are automatically denied. And to me, that's just a modern way of segregation. There's nothing, there's not another word that could explain what that is. And so, we're trying to change the system. And I am also part of Freedom University in Georgia, and it's a free college-based course that you were accepted no matter of your sexual orientation, your race, your status, and they have been great supporters of this cause. And I can actually now sit here and tell you that I am no longer ashamed. I am no longer living in the shadows. I am no longer hiding, and I can tell you I am undocumented, and I am proud to say it. And I really would like for more people to come out and share their stories and share their experiences and how they feel, because we have to change the system. We have to do the dirty work. We're not going to sit around and wait for somebody else to do it for us. If we want change, we have to make it ourselves. And we're not going to stop until either the system is changed or the DREAM Act goes through. That is something that I am a firm believer of. I mean, we're not going to stop. This is just the beginning of something great. And I really would like for a lot more people to come out, and just say it. Just be proud of who you are. Embrace who you are. Don't ever let anybody, bring you down just because you're not an American, or just because in their eyes you're not an American. And being an American comes from the heart. And I can tell you, I love where I'm from. I love my country, but definitely I consider myself an American. So, like I said, my name is Mitzy. I am undocumented. I am unafraid, and I am here today telling you to come out of the shadows. Thank you.